Today I'm going to continue working on the frame by welding on the bar stock that I need to form the barrels that are going to allow the handles to rotate. The center of this piece is a 1/2 inch round bar, and I'm going to be wrapping it with a 1/8 inch plate that's 1.5 inches wide. The first thing that I need to do is wrap the flat bar around the round bar and get that welded together. This really just needs to be tacked in place. If you weld it too much at this stage, then you're going to have trouble opening up the flat bar enough to get it wrapped around the ends of the frame. You'll see how that gave me some trouble later on. Definitely a project where an extra set of hands would really be helpful. I need to wrap this bar tightly around the round bar, but I also would like to have a space left for the frame. But because I'm working alone, the only way I can wrap the bar tightly is to wrap it totally around. And as I said before, that gave me a little bit of trouble when I welded it. It closed up a little bit too much, and I really had to work to get that spacing built back in. The forge welding of this is pretty straightforward. It's really important not to overheat the metal. It's more important to let it sit at a bright yellow heat, which is just below what people normally consider to be a forge welding heat. If you really take the time at this stage, you don't risk burning the metal, plus the heat really gets driven into the center, and that's what you need for a good forge weld. Once the metal is hot all the way through, then it just tends to sit there. When you take it out, it just stays hot and really gives you time to set a good weld. Now that I have this part welded up, I need to get it ready to weld to the actual frame. Here I'm trying to get the spacing back into this piece. I need the ends of the frame to sit right on this round bar, so I need to have that wide enough so it'll work around the ends of the frame. I wasn't having a great day today. I also rushed this scarf joint, and later on you'll see how that left a bit of a seam. When I finally do get it in position, I'm able to hammer the flat bar down around the ends of the frame, so that holds it in position enough to get it welded. I'm going to be trimming off all that excess metal later on, but right now I need it to get this piece welded. In this welding heat, I start by hammering straight down on the end of the frame so that the ends of the frame gets pushed right up against the round bar. All I'm trying to do with this heat is tack everything in place. I don't want to spend a lot of time. I just want to get it back in the fire and get it reheated so I can continue welding. And then after that, it's just a matter of taking however many welding heats you need to get all the different sections welded up. Again, the key here is to not overheat the metal. You're going to have more success with forge welding if you try to weld at a slightly lower heat, but take the time to let that heat build right into the center of the piece. Now that everything's welded from a mechanical point of view, I'm ready to start doing the forge welds that are going to blend all the edges together and make it seem like one piece of metal. So I've taken an angle grinder and I've removed all the excess metal, and I've tried to follow the contours of the bottom of the leg as much as I can, but I'm not too concerned about it because I'm going to be able to weld all those edges back in on themselves anyway. So if they're a little ragged, don't worry about it. Now this heat that I'm working on now wasn't a forge welding heat. I just heated it up enough so that I can shape everything and get everything blended in as much as I can. The next heat I'll continue forge welding until everything's done. I did find a gap that I wasn't able to see when I was forge welding, so I simply added a filler rod in here, which is just simply a nail. Drive it into the hole, cut off the excess, and that'll all get blended into the surface as you're doing the final forge welds. So this is how I'm going to leave it for now. Obviously another one of these needs to be mounted to the other leg, but I need to be able to clean it up and start working on the finishing to see if there's any areas that I need to address before I move on. Hi, I'm Dennis and thanks for watching. As most of you know, for the past few years I've been producing YouTube videos on a part-time basis. I am now looking to turn that hobby into a full-time job, and for that I really need your help. A small monthly contribution from a really small number of viewers will generate the income that I need to achieve that goal. So if you're interested in the work that I'm doing and you want to lend your support, please click on the Patreon icon at the bottom of the screen. Thank you. We'll see you next time.